Oh my God, fisher people. Check this out. The dock's in. I don't even care if I catch fish today. That made my day. This is gonna be so much easier. Boats in the water. I don't know if they're gonna be pre-spawn or not. If they started laying eggs, I'm screwed. If they haven't laid eggs, this could be an amazing day. It's a long ways down to the bottom of the ramp right now. I must be in a singing mood today, I don't know. Maybe it's because it's my first time fishing in my boat. That sort of thing gets me excited. .8 in this little bay. There's the upper water. Let's find some fish. Unfortunately, we were too late for the pre-spawn bite, but I think we can still make a video out of this. The Game and Fish was just starting to capture and net the spawning fish to harvest the eggs. So maybe we can get a peek into that. So what fish are you throwing back in this tank here?
Males.
The males?
I'm just cycling them through.
Gotcha, so you just brought them all up here and then sort them as male, female?
No, we sorted them out there.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. I'll just keep the males, and then if I have to reuse them, I'll go through them once and then fold them, and we can reuse them then too.
Gotcha.
That way they don't have to haul as many.
Oh, I see. You're actually, okay, you're mixing the sperm and the egg together.
Yep.
Yeah. Got it.
After they're fertilized, then you have walleye eggs are naturally adhesive in the wild, and that's so they stick to rocks and stuff so they don't wash around. When you're doing them in a hatchery, it's not desirable. They'll stick together to each other. We don't want that, so we put them in mud.
Okay.
It's a clay powder, and you mix it with that, and it takes that adhesiveness off the egg, so then the egg won't just they'll be in jars like that in the hatchery for a few weeks till they hatch.
Okay, sweet. So why does it seem to take like 2 weeks once they start spawning before we can catch any of these fish again?
Oh, they're just kind of, the stress of spawning, they're just kind of recuperating basically.
Yeah.
You know,
Do they all go like right at the same time pretty much, or are they staggered?
No, it'll be staggered over probably a week to 10 days, typically in an area. You know, it'll trickle on, then you'll have your peak, and then there'll be some farther out too. So they're not all at the same time.
So you could potentially catch some during the early or late parts of that. It's just harder to do it.
Yeah, I mean the males typically, especially pre-spawn, find those males a little more aggressive, you know, closer to the spawn. But
Gotcha.
Sakakawea, there's historically not been a real great pre-spawn, but throw the ice out.
Yeah.
Some years it is.
It just doesn't warm up fast enough.
Yeah, by the time the ice comes out, it's getting close enough to the spawn, I think, that they're already starting to stage and getting ready.
Fair enough.
Especially on that east end. I don't remember what spring, but we had ice out the end of March that year.
Yeah.
And there was a really good pre-spawn bite on that east end that year. But basically that was your late ice bite was happening in open water that year.
Right.
You know, so.
Is there anything you've learned about this that makes you better at catching fish after doing this?
No, it just makes you realize how bad you are.
That's what I wondered too.
Yeah,
You see all these fish sitting in here, it's like they're all out there.
all the sampling we do too in the summertime, and it just makes you, we can do an electrofishing survey in the river. I fish the river a lot.
Mm-hmm.
We go do an electrofishing survey, and there's some years, but be a pile of fish there. Next day you go there fishing, and you don't catch anything.
So like, do these fish here that you just pulled the eggs out of, will they like still go to their spawning spot and pretend to dump their eggs, or do they go back to
I
doing
don't
something
think so.
else?
Nah, I think they pull out and just go into
They can
recovery.
feel that they're gone and they just,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, because when we spawn them, I think they're leaving. They're pulling back out of the bays for a little while, or farther out in the bays. The males, I'm not sure. The males probably stay around.
This is the only lake you pull them out of, right? Sakakawea. You don't do Ottoman, do you?
No. Used to take a fair amount out of Devil's Lake.
Oh, you did?
Years ago they did. In the early to mid 2000s when Sac was hurting in that severe drought.
Yeah.
We were struggling. And we took eggs out of Devil's Lake. They did over there too.
Gotcha.
So they're even later than us for eggs, so they can probably get some years, but we're already pushing how late we want to get them for the hatchery, because we need to get them hatched off into those ponds and out to stock by late June before water temps start getting real high.
Yeah. When do the eggs actually hatch?
Oh, they'll come off in a couple weeks.
I always felt like the pre-spawn bite on Sakakawea was a tough one to hit the window right, and I guess a lot of what I learned from this kind of confirmed that. Like, it's a really big body of water. The ice sometimes comes off a little late, and it takes a long time for it to warm up and the fish just to get going, and even if they do, they have to start laying eggs pretty soon. So it's a tough short window. It's amazing when you can hit it right, and some years you get lucky and you get a couple, 2-3 weeks, and other years you get a day or two, and that's just kind of the way it is. I also learned that from reading in the past, and also some of the stuff that I learned from Dave that day, Sakakawea is the main source of all the eggs that they get for all of the stocking all across the state of North Dakota. So they had to take eggs from Devil's Lake for a little bit, like he mentioned, but usually Sakakawea eggs support most all the fisheries that they manage throughout the rest of the state of North Dakota, which is pretty amazing that you can get eggs from one source and create walleye fisheries in so many other locations across the state. It's pretty unbelievable, really. And of course, my first thought too was like, does this hurt Sakakawea in any regard, that you're taking some of the eggs that would be spawning here in this lake? And basically he said that the most successful reproduction on Sakakawea occurs way up on the northwest end. While the walleyes in these areas do lay eggs in some of these bays and some of these shorelines, not a lot of them are super successful with survival rate. So partly because of how deep and cold the water is, for whatever reason, just the conditions aren't super great. So basically the way they see it is they're taking eggs that probably wouldn't make it anyway and using it to supply other lakes to create other good, strong walleye fisheries that people can enjoy and have fun with in other locations, which is pretty cool. So the walleyes have the capability to create a lot of offspring. They just might not make it where they are. So they're kind of just repurposing and redistributing that into other locations. So it makes a lot of sense when they talk about the term fisheries management. I get it now. So for me, it was a great learning experience. It was super fun to watch. I just want to thank Dave Frieda and the rest of the guys at the Game and Fish Fisheries Management for letting me do that, and to my buddy Randy, the Ripping Lips Adventures, for coming along and filming it with me and helping me film. And if you did get something out of this video, if it was interesting, educational, insightful, just fun to watch, I'd appreciate if you hit the thumbs up button. Maybe consider subscribing to the channel, and we'll be back with more of a fishing related video next time around, I promise. See you later, fish people.